Hello, everyone. So nice of you, all of the shush. But I always wanted to do that. Sorry, all the remote folks. Yeah, Darth Vader. Yes. Here comes the party killer, because I won't talk about shiny tech today, sorry. But still pretty important, how to think user first. And we'll try to answer this question, but we will hopefully maybe not even answer this question, maybe hopefully we'll have a way to get a little bit closer to our users. So, hello, I'm Kasia. I do front-end stuff for a living, as you probably guessed already. I'm mother of a lot of different animals, kids, as well. But I haven't showed pictures of my kids because, they are pretty old already. They're like 12 and 8, so they know internet. They would see themselves on YouTube or somewhere else, and they would like, "Mother, why you done this to me? I didn't want to see myself over here." So, like cats won't do that. They don't know that I'm taking any pictures of them. So, enjoy. And a lovely lady jumping with me as well. I'm based in Poland, Gdańsk, and I really noticed that we have a very strong Polish representation today, so cześć Polska. And I'm working remotely for Clio, a British startup. I will talk a little bit more about later during this presentation. We are hiring, by the way. It's pretty important. Agenda for today. So we will talk a little bit about why we should even care about our users. I mean, sounds pretty obvious, but let's talk about it. And then dev versus user, or maybe is dev a user or not, and like why not? Not a Thai user. Thai user is we'll talk about it. And then how to get there, how to get closer to the user. And at the end, I will show a little bit of demo and some tools I use to do the demo. So let's kick it off. Why should we care? Why should we care about our users? So I know that it's very tempting to just use some really cool tech, use Svelte, use what's like super cool right nowadays, Svelte, and just do some more and more new things, throw it into the internet. Internet will like welcome everything, but some of these things will just disappear slowly over there. This is what happens to things which are not used. So sometimes it's good to actually think about what our user wants from us, because we don't really want to disappoint them, especially not like this. And most of the times, we are not Kitsa. We are not working on CZ. We are not working on tools for other devs. Also, sadly or not, we are not Atlassian. We are not devs working on Jira. Or maybe we are. Are there any Atlassian devs out here? I mean, I love Jira, or maybe not. I'm a fan. There's nothing better out there. Anyway, it has been told that we don't really want to get death threats as well. So maybe that's another reason why we should care about our users. And our users can get a little bit revengeful, if you think about it. I mean, this is actually story behind Uber being a little bit harassment. And the Uber users got angry at the app, and it's very visible that there is a race of one-star reviews somewhere in February. Another example is very well-known app, which is Airbnb. As you can see, sometimes users of Airbnb, which probably has amazing user research team, I never dubbed it, but still, if you value your safety, don't use Airbnb. An absolute scam. Or terrible company. Sometimes it happens, even to Airbnb. I mean, there are different stories behind such reviews, but we should never really ignore them. And at least a little bit cliche, I know that's a little bit cliche, but if we can make someone a little bit happier than yesterday by using our app, even if it's TikTok, it's worth it, right? So let's talk about a little bit more about why we are not always same as our users. Because it's not always obvious. We assume as we are humans, right? And we also use some apps here and there. We can actually be our target users sometimes with a lot of different apps, but not necessarily. There are some differences, and some of them are devices. I've run a small survey at my company, at Clio, and as you can see, we are hiring, by the way, but we are using pretty nice, decent devices, right? I mean, could be better, could be like 100% MacBook Pro 16 and 1. Maybe I will call HR after this talk. Anyway, what I wanted to tell here is I digged a little bit, and regular computer owners actually change their device after even up to 10 years. 10 years. It's like a lot. I mean, I don't even remember what was like the MacBook produced 10 years ago. Another thing is, as you can see, we usually make different type of money. And again, I have some data to back this up. So median annual wage in US is around $40,000. Can you guess what is engineer median annual wage in US? It's twice as big. It's twice as big. I mean, yeah, we could say it's even bigger sometimes smaller. Same with wages for like in different industries. But still, you can see the difference, right? It's a pretty big one. What's more, our background is different. And over here, differences are like even way bigger than in different comparisons. What I wanted to show over here is, again, some data. So as you can see, most of engineers in US, because I found a lot of data around US, has at least bachelor degree, where when it comes to general data, so it includes devs in there, there is high school diploma or equivalent, but then it goes lower and lower. So not all of our users are as well educated as we are, and we should keep it in mind. But there is even more. I mean, there's lots more of differences, but I wanted to mention there is a difference in volume of internet our users get or buy. So there is a data around how big packages of internet mobile users usually buy. And as you can see, there's like a huge amount of users with unlimited data volume, 43%. That's really nice to see that's such a growth. But still, we have quite a lot of people who have like from 1 to 12 gigabytes per month, which is still nice, but it's not as big as unlimited internet. So again, something different. I can assume, or maybe no assumptions. I have unlimited internet, and let's stay with that. Which brings us to know the Thai user. And Thai user is a mantra repeated quite often by usability specialists. So they love that. They use it, and they always repeat to themselves that like you should know Thai user, you should meet your user, you should talk with your user, because no Thai user and you are not Thai user. So you are not your focus user most of the times. Don't make assumptions about your users. So how can we get there? We should, like, there are some really nice approaches. That's a little bit of user research instead of development, sorry for that, but to get somewhere, we need to go through user research. And how can we actually, thanks to user research, get to know our user better? So first of all, we should start with thinking about the profile and the context of the user. So who they are, where, what they do, where they live, and when, and then what are the user's goals and needs, so why they do what they do. And in the end, what are the user's frustrations? So even taking a look at the data comparison around financial situation, sometimes we don't have same frustrations as our users do, most of the times. And then what I've mentioned is actually related to the rational thinking. So we can get this information pretty easily by talking with our users, doing some interviews, some surveys. But this is just the top of the iceberg, because there is more. There is emotional part of the user. So all of the desires, all of the ideology, and this is where all of the emotions are. So how can we actually get to know this emotional part of our user and move closer to them? Again, user research comes to the rescue. So that's something we can take part of together with user researchers, but it requires a little bit of skills to talk with. So by running one-on-one interviews to understand the pain points, emotions, what are the, again, frustrations and goals of our users. By running surveys, that's something we can do. I mean, I know, we hate them. Like, as users, we usually just tend to skip them because, well, it requires some time. But there are ways user researchers actually use surveys, some not even somewhere in the app, but paid surveys, to understand, again, what are the frustrations of the users, but also what makes user happy. And usability testing. That's a little bit closer to development, actually. So any kind of testing specific concepts with wireframes or MVPs can be run with users even before the launch, and will make our app better for them. So that's something what we want to really do, to understand users' behaviors and pain points to build opportunities. And I wanted to show my current company app, Clio, as a use case. So we are a fintech startup, we are a fintech company which operates in US, and our mission is around improving financial tech of Gen Z users, Gen Z people in US. As you probably know, the financial situation of young people in US is hard most of the times. So we do a lot of user research. We do a lot of interviews and then run surveys. And based on that, we actually create personas. So this is one of the example personas we do. So meet Brandy. Brandy is 26 years old, teacher at the kindergarten. She has a baby, a dog, and she's a very cool girl. She sometimes likes to eat some takeaways. She has some anxiety around checking her bank account. She feels afraid of doing that because she knows that she is a little bit of compulsive shopper, so she can spend money on some random stuff. And she would love to have some kind of help to help her manage this, to manage her going through her anxiety, and help her also organize her spending somehow. So what we do as Clio with Brandy, we do a to-do list. We basically try to validate ideas which will help her to maintain and to struggle and get better. Okay, but enough about use cases. Let's go to the demo and tools, because I've prepared something. First of all, I wanted to mention a little bit about feature flags. Feature flags are a super cool tool, which is around showing some content to the users or not showing some content to the users. As simple as that. There are multiple different usages of feature flags. You can use them to just show some content based on user, so like user location or maybe language or device. We can do a feature gating, so basically we can just give users access based on some authentication or subscription. We can also use feature flags to just improve, no, that's not a good word, to have kind of a backdoor if something goes wrong. So I know it's not the perfect solution. We still should have tracing as it was mentioned before. We should have all of the observability in place, some kind of bug chasing in place, but it's really good to actually release features hidden behind the feature flag. Because if something goes wrong and you maintain a huge application, which deployment takes, together with reviews in Play Store, iOS Store, takes a couple of days, it's good to have some kind of way to just switch the bug off. How it looks when it comes to code, usually is pretty simple. As you can see, it's like I was thinking should I show this piece of code? It's like super obvious, right? We are showing something or we are not showing something based on feature flag. The use feature actually is coming from Grovebook, which I will mention later on. But yeah, as simple as that. So why not to use it? But let's go to the demo, which is around A/B tests. So A/B tests is a way for us, for devs, together with user researchers, together with designers, to test our ideas together with users. And to do that, we should start with the hypothesis. So hypothesis is our idea which should be based on some kind of social proof. So again, on user research or survey. But there is an assumption we have that we want to validate. Then we validate that by creating a couple of variations. It can be there's just one variation against the control side. So like we have our app, which is a control side, and then we have a variation which should prove the hypothesis. Then we should define metrics. So data, right? How can we be sure that given idea is valid if we don't measure it. And after that result, so if the result is as we assumed, we can promote given site and move on. Okay, demo. Who's my user? Finally, my user is a dev. You guys. I mean, you don't look like this, but I really wanted to create a persona for devs. So here we are. It's 20 to 40 years old, right? And then they have pretty stable situation, financial situation. They spend a lot of time at home, making 20K steps a day is a lot for them. Or maybe not. That's stereotypical thinking. Anyway, let's go to the demo. So I would like to engage you a little bit. Please, if you have iPhone, just scan the QR code. If not, then it's pretty long address, but I think we will manage. Please open the app. It's a super simple app. I haven't showed you the app before because, you know, there won't be any surprise. So I prepared a couple of variations. I will just give you a few seconds to play with the app, also to remote people. We'll see later if there were any remote engagements. It's super simple, so it should like take around 30 seconds, really. So let's move on. What was my hypothesis? My hypothesis was that I believe that making my website a little bit funnier will improve the interaction with the website. So basically, I believe that my user loves memes, loves internet, and if I will use some of the common known memes in there, I will improve the interaction. These are the variations. So some of you, 33% of you have seen a control site, super simple website, follow me. Sorry, it's probably different content on the button. Then some of you have seen this is fine modal, which doesn't close. Sorry, haven't had time to implement the close button. And then some of you have seen awkward seal, which is asking for the follow. Yeah, so how it works. So let's start with that. I've used Next.js because I've heard that it's super fancy and cool to use. So this is why I used it. Yeah. Then Next.js actually used Grovebook under the hood to maintain A/B tests. So Grovebook is a very cool, open to use, so free to use platform, which gives us a super cool tool to run feature flags, A/B tests, like they call it experiments with metrics, defined metrics to observe the results. We'll see later what is the result of our experiment. And then I've been sending all of the interactions to the Google Analytics. Google Analytics sync the interactions with the Google BigQuery, and Grovebook has done its magic with the BigQuery by just querying the data from there. So metrics. I actually checked how many of you view the page, how many of you pressed the button and followed. actually followed is a little bit of assumption because I'm not really checking if you are following me on Twitter. It's fine if you don't. I'm really boring out there, so. Anyway, this is the hard part because I will need to stop the presentation and show you the results. But it's going to be fine, trust me. And we're almost there. We are like almost at the end. Bear with me. It's okay. Oh, I also used Firebase. Forgot to mention, but it's like just because of the SDK. So we had 200 users per minute. Wow, my app never seen such movement. Let's go to the growth book then. So as you can see, I'll just refresh the page to see if there's anything. Hopefully we gave growth book enough time, like BigQuery and Google Analytics enough time to sync up. That was my only worry. Okay. Follow engage is my experiment, which is running, that's the feature. So that's the feature flag, follow engage, and based on the follow engage feature flag, I'm running experiment, which is called follow engage experiment, shocker. Then, is it visible? Okay, cool. So I'm running experiment. My metric is user tapped CDA, basically. I have 3 versions. There is a control, which is a boring website. This is fine draw variations, which has, and there is awkward seal variations. So results. Let's see if the demo has worked. If not, then I will share later. No! Oh! There is something. But it's not enough data to show me which one should win. But actually looks like the awkward seal variation is winning based on this. But it's like, actually you were super engaged as users. Maybe it's me cheating, or maybe you wanted to click the button to see what happens. like that's how boring the website was. Anyway, sadly I don't really have a decent result over here because it's not enough data for growth book. But what I wanted to show you is that I had 60 users with the awkward seal variation, and what's weird is that 63 out of 60 tapped the button, so even more. So probably some of you tapped the button twice, or like even more. And then all of the users with this is fine drawer tapped the button. And even more users in the control version. So probably you were like the most bored one. Like, what the hell is that? It's like, is this all? I can imagine. So anyway, I wanted to show this. I was hoping that we'll see a winner which will prove my hypothesis, but apparently you're not really into funny content. Like, it doesn't really matter to you, which is a good sign. We are mature people. Okay. So let me go back now again. It's not that smart. Where's the... Okay. I will actually go back here. Just give me a second. Okay. So, again, tools, Firebase. I used Firebase because Firebase has a really nice way to connect with Next, or with React. It's just a simple SDK, and you have everything. You have database, you have Google Analytics in place. So yeah, I've used Google Analytics as well, and then Grovebook. Optimize is the tool I have considered using as it's another tool from Google package. But in this case, Grovebook was a little bit more developer friendly, because you don't really have to think about all of the SQL behind the scene. You just can run your experiments and make some assumptions. So, last thought for today, at the end of this beautiful day, is don't be afraid to validate all of your ideas with your user. Thank you.